guys, how are we doing? So, it has been a funny 24 hours, you know. Like, I did my reaction video and I've read over the thing, and you know, I was pretty happy and pretty content. And you know, I think the problem is, sorry, I'm just getting a bit comfy. I've been making videos all night. Hopefully this is the third video you've watched, or the first of three, depending on your order of preference. I was not surprised people were upset. I was surprised by how many people were let down, or right, there's a few things. I've made some notes when I was kind of working today, so I was like, when I do the video I need to make sure I touch on this, that and the other. Okay, now privately I was having a few chats with a few guys through Twitter and whatever, and what you need to understand now, right, and it's the kind of stuff I've been talking about in my last 3 or 4 Football Index videos, is their target is institutions, it's hedge funds, all the blurbs that they keep feeding us, you know, market makers, more liquidity providers, all this stuff. That is who they're targeting right now. It's the last thing I'll kind of say. He's going to do a podcast with me very soon. He's just bought a house, whatever, blah blah blah. One of my best friends is a CFO of a hedge fund, and what he was explaining to me, right, and I'm lucky I've got somebody like that on the end of the phone that I talk to pretty much every day, is when you're in that position, when you're running a hedge fund and you're putting somebody's pension, you know, it's not just somebody's, it's like a corporation's or an institution's, you know, funds and whatever, there's a lot of legal repercussions for fucking that up or not doing proper due diligence, you know. So just to give you that as a little bit of something for now, right, we'll do a podcast with him shortly, and we'll get right into all this stuff proper. These guys don't fuck about, you know, see increasing dividends by 100%. That's not what those people care about, you know. These guys are happy making a guaranteed 8% a year. That's amazing, you know, and that's what they're after. They're after solid. This is what the structure is. It's a bond, it's an ISA, it's Forex, it's this company, that company, whatever. They want to know as much as they can, and it's controlled betting, you know. So what Football Index need to do to attract these guys is give them what they want, you know. Now what they, don't get me wrong, 100%, no one's going to turn their nose up at that, don't get me wrong, but that's not what tickles their pickle, you know. That's what gets us excited, right? Now, Football Index is 4 years old or something, right? I'm just going to say punter, right, because gambling, go for a punt, right? The punters, me and you, right, we are no longer the target audience, right? The target audience is the bigwigs, right? We are the springboard. They've built a nice little market, they've showed that it works, they've showed that there is desire and engagement, fun, profitability, community aspect, blah blah blah. We've been the guinea pigs this whole time, you know, which isn't a problem, you know, but that's what you need to understand, is we are not who they are targeting, you know. And even I've been doing the videos, like, I find me even a portfolio of my size, you know, and it's back up to the kind of normal levels it's normally kind of hovering around. I'm, you know, not on anyone's radar in terms of these big accounts and all this kind of stuff as well. And I kind of feel even myself, and maybe you as well, if you've been around here for a while, smaller accounts, you do at times feel marginalised, you know, by opinions and decisions and this kind of stuff. But I think we're pretty much all in that boat now, because, you know, we're all the punters basically. What they're after now is, you know, if you ran a hedge fund or any of these types of things and you were in control of an £80 million investment out of a 1 billion fund, right? But you've got to think, you've got 80 million and you're like, right, what am I going to put this 80 million into? And Football Index approached you, and even if you thought that was going to be a good idea, which I'm not saying it wouldn't be or whatever, but let's say you thought, do you know what, this could be something. You're going to prod, and you need to know everything, and you need to be able to forecast the next 5 years with a good degree of confidence to push the button on something like that, you know. What was the killer? Sorry guys, like I told you, I made a wee list to make sure I wasn't going to go on too many tangents. Wanted to keep it quite nice and concise tonight. But yeah, you know, we're not target audience anymore. They want to keep us happy and satisfied and keep us around, which is why they give us little bits of what we want, which is fine. I mean, they're here. You know, I've ran about half a dozen businesses in my life, and that's what I understand from a business perspective, is these guys, Adam Cole, Bowen, the rest of them, it's their job. You know, they want to become wealthy off the back of this. They're not doing it as a charity, you know, or something like that. So every decision they make is with the silver lining of, is this going to make us more profitable or less profitable? And you hear in the language that comes out in AC these days, you know, responsible fiscal, blah 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 blah. Now, the team of month itself, right? I dropped a wee bit of advice or tip or whatever when I did the video. It's kind of on Twitter now, so I don't know if that came from the video and it's kind of bled through. It's not overly, you know, I'm not surprised, you know. It's out there now, you know. So if you got on the video rapid and you snapped up some Champions League players and that kind of thing, brilliant. I hope you do well with it, right? But the market did react you know, not in line with what it normally does. And even the day after, you know, a div increase of circa 20 to 30%. The increase list is pretty horrible. The decrease list was very surprising. Okay, now with team of the month, right? The thing everyone thinks Kimmich, right? What you've also got to think about, right, is from your own experience. Two things, right? Number one is those players that you've bought and they don't quite get you dividends. You know, they're just off it on the gold day or the silver day. They get subbed at 60 minutes, or, you know, those holds that you're like, oh, that could have been, it was so close to being the perfect trade when I got in, when I got out, those fixtures, the games, the way they panned out. So what you're looking for that, right? And then what you're also looking for is those players, those holds that you've identified that also have the potential to get better next year, right? And that's how does a player get better? The team gets better, so the team either signs new players or they assign to a new team, or the player is young and developing and you expect natural progression to be from the age of 23 to 24, they'll improve 24 to 25, so on and so forth. And those are the ones you really want to be targeting, especially if you're in the same kind of, you know, the top end of the market, Pogbas and all these types of guys. Kimmich is just about, I could buy some Kimmich. I don't like to really go over Ronaldo. I use Ronaldo as my kind of metric for who I think is expensive, you know, because Ronaldo's just crazy good on all the dividend statistics, and he's old, you know, but for £3.12 or whatever he is, you know, he's my kind of, if you're more expensive than Ronaldo, then you're probably too expensive for me, kind of thing. But so if you're in that kind of, if you swim in those waters that I do, I think those are the sort of holds you're waiting for. Now, I did put out last night on Twitter, I made 2 purchases off the back of the video that I put out in the announcement. One of them is not Kimmich, but people do think Kimmich is the bridesmaid. But for me, this guy is the bridesmaid of all bridesmaids. You know, being in a defence with Kimmich, and then Kimmich and Pavard and Lucas Hernandez, and then but Kimmich gets moved to midfield and you think, oh brilliant, Alaba could be in line, by the way, for some good Bayern Munich defensive divs. And then Alphonso Davies comes on. So Alaba has been a centre back this year, might transfer in the summer, it's got Austria, it's got Euros, Champions League with Bayern in August. Tons of boxes ticked. I think done the QV value on him. The only points he wouldn't score anything on is he's 27, you know, so he's probably about a 90 odd. You know, he's not English as well, so I take him to 90. So he's going to be low 80s, which is brilliant. At £1.09, I bought him at £1.10. I bought him last night. But yeah, these are the types of. I'm not telling you to go buy him, right? What I'm telling you is, I've held Alaba. If you watch the videos, I've held Alaba at least 3 different times, with varying degrees of success. I think overall I've always done well on Alaba, truth be told. But that's what you want, is the ones you know already do well and you think next season they could do better. Now with Alaba, he'll play playing at centre back more often in that kind of shape that Flick is employed. Bayern Munich's see, when you look at Kimmich, right, and you look at any Bayern Munich players this season, the PV scores over the first half of the season for Bayern was super tough and super shit, you know. So I wouldn't really read too much into that. Going forward for next year, you know, are they going to get better? Well, I see Alaba getting better, because he's not had a great season. He's finished this season really strong. In the last couple of games, his scores have been higher and higher, and scored a free kick in the cup final, and he's got transfer spec. So if he did leave Bayern, could he, you know, is he a better team, you know? But where's he going to go? He's probably going to go with City, you know. I said it before when I've bought him. He's a City player all day. He's a left back, can play centre mid, can play centre back, you know. He's a City player all day. Now, I'm not going to show you the other player that I bought because I don't want this to be confused as some sort of pump fest, right? But I bought another player, another one who I'd been tracking their price for ages. I was dying for them to get to the 195 kind of level, you know. And I've got them a good bit below that. On the matching engine, they would be way, way, way lower. But didn't want to take the risk of putting it on there and it didn't bite. And or the actual market price went back to a level I wasn't going to be happy with if other people were down my kind of train of thought. I'll probably show you on the next video. It's not going to be a secret for long, but I just don't want this video to be a pumpy type of thing. But guys, yeah, overall, I'm happy with what's happened. It was only meant to be a dividend increase. You know what I mean? People are acting, and I said this as well in a tweet. See the way people reacted. I said, well, yeah, I was reacting for them removing instant sale, and people were like to me, oh, it's no big deal, it's still there. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, that's a big fucking change, and most people don't really care. The market moved pretty well initially, and then people slowly went, actually, hold on, this matching engine isn't all that great, actually. And then we've got ourselves in the situation we're in now. So I think it's those people that wish that they were angry maybe when the time machine came out. I don't know if it's maybe a little bit of that, but you know, listen, they told us they were going to confirm the dividend structure for next season. They've done that. They told us they were going to increase it. They've not quite increased it the way you would expect. The way I expected it to be would be more dividends rather than boosting up, you know, the Starmans and all that kind of stuff, guys. But yeah, buzzing, man. Champions League group stage, Champions League draw was today. Europa League draw looks very, very good. Make sure. And I did a tweet about Greenwood as well. Like, if you're wondering why Greenwood's a tenner, you've not looked at August. You've not thought about, you know, he's going to make bank the next 2-3 months. You know, so if you got him on before a tenner, then brilliant. Fair play to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. On my notes, I think that's everything. Yeah. Plan ahead. Predict next season as best you can. Go back to, in my opinion anyway, holes you've had before you know more about than any statistic can tell you. You know, if you've held somebody before, you know, you get that feel. You know how they play. You know how they score. You know, and you get that feel for them. You know, I don't care what apps you use and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, listen, guys, thanks a lot. Check out the other videos I've released today / tonight, whatever. Like, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.